Thank you all again. Once again, thank you all for joining this session. Today, the topic that we're going to cover is really around the granular access control, or we call it ACL, Introduction to Denial-less and Query-Based ACLs. This is one of the topic that is requested by our internal sales team and our customer, as well as partners. We didn't have a chance to cover one session through this platform privacy and the Security Academy session, but finally this year we had some topic that we're going to give you guys a little bit overview details around what the ACL is and what we are trying to build and what we had so far as well. I have two special guests that I invited for this session to go over, Derek and Pratik. Before I let them to introduce themselves, just quickly, I want to introduce myself as well. My name is Furqat Salim. I am one of the outbound product manager in platform security team. I've been with ServiceNow for over 5 years. I covered conversational interface, virtual agent, live agent, and NLU in the past. And 2.5 years ago, I transitioned to platform security team to build some security related products as well. So I'd like to pass it over to Derek to introduce himself, and I'll pass it over to Pratik as well.
Yeah, Derek Borland. I'm an outbound product manager on the platform security team. I joined ServiceNow about 7 months ago, but have been in the security field in many different roles between product management, vendor management, for going on 12 years now. Now that I just aged myself, I will hand it over to Pratik.
Hello, all. My name is Pratik Bhatt. I'm the product manager for access control in ServiceNow. My background is engineering. I joined ServiceNow in 2018, so it's almost more than 6 years. I came from engineering background, switched to product management, and love solving complex problem for all of you.
Thank you, Pratik. Thank you all for joining the session again, and thank you, Derek and Pratik, for spending time to cover around the ACL, especially what we're doing so far and what's our roadmap is going to look like in the future as well. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please feel free to scan the QR code here, or you can literally just type ServiceNow community, or you can type the platform privacy and security on our YouTube search box, and you'd be directed to our the channel where you can have amazing sessions, not only around the security products that we cover, but also all the product areas that ServiceNow covers too. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell if there's any new session added, or the coming in the future, you'd be notified with the sessions that we're going to cover as well. But so far we have covered 14 sessions around all different security products. That includes the Vault, which is the premium products, and the bundled products, around 7 different the premium products. That includes encryption, data privacy, zero trust access, and some other the premium products as well. And we covered the security center, the access analyzer, and obviously this is one of the ACLs that we're covering in that session as well. So as a company, we're publicly, ServiceNow is publicly traded company. So we always start with the safe harbor, the forward-looking statement. We might talk about some of the things which might be in the roadmap or for our upcoming releases. So if you're planning to purchase any of our products, please talk to your sales team or account team to make sure that the product exists today in the store, which is available for you to purchase before you make any final purchasing decision as well. With that, I would like to let Pratik to kick off the sessions around ACLs.
Yes, thank you, Furqat. So as a part of today's agenda, we'll be going over what exists today in the platform when it comes to access controls, what's new in Xanadu, and then we will go the demo, and then finally into Q&A. We are happy to answer all the questions you guys have over here. So with that, let's see what we have within the platform today. So all are familiar with the concept of ACLs, access control list. It is a way to protect your resource. It allows you to define who can access the resource, in what conditions, and with complex scenarios, you can even write a script. So right now, the current ACL model is allow ACL model. That means you define the allow access to the data if these conditions are met. Now, what are the conditions that you can control? You can control the who. That means you can define the roles where the user should have roles to in order to access the data, or user should be part of the groups because groups also do the role assignment. So user having one of the roles in the groups can access the data. Then the next is the security attribute. This was a new feature released in Vancouver release. So it's a way to define uh, non-data context. That means you can define the user criteria or environment criteria to create a reusable component that you can use in multiple ACLs. Now, what will be the example? So let's say you have an example where users should be based in the location and should be coming from specific IP range, right? You can define those things in a security attribute, and then you can reuse that attribute across all the ACLs. So any ACLs that need to protect a data where a user is in the US region and is coming from the specific IP range, you can define that as a security attribute. One other classic example is also like if you want to protect all your data against unauthenticated access, you create a security attribute is unauthenticated to false and then reuse it everywhere. Third is a data conditions. Data condition is a way to define like which specific data you want to protect. That means if you want to protect priority equal to one incident or priority equal to two incident or assigned equal to a specific team, right? Or assignment equal to HR, for example, if you want to protect HR data. So data conditions help you define more context on the data that you want to protect. Fourth is a script, which is more advanced. We all been using a scripted ACL way to define the complex logic, which will eventually return answer equal to true or false, which determines whether the access will be granted to this data or not. And we have also seen a query business rules being used as a access control mechanism, but it's not an access control feature. It's a way to define your business logic, but it's also working in some of the way where you create a business rules to filter out data based on certain criteria. For example, uh, a user belonging to Europe region should only access Europe data, right? So you can create that as a business rule and you can run it before a query and append that queries into existing query so that it will filter out the data. Now, what's new in Xanadu? It's a deny ACL. It's an explicit way of denying an access to the data. Up till now, we all learned that up till now we have been creating allow if ACL, that means allow access to the data if conditions are met. This is explicit way of denying, meaning deny access to the data unless conditions are met. Deny ACLs are very powerful as it takes priority over allow if ACL. That means if there is any deny ACL that denies the access to the data, there is no allow ACL that can grant an access to the same data. And if you have multiple deny ACLs on the resource, deny ACLs are all ended together. That means all the deny ACLs need to be passed in order to grant an access to the data. We recommend you guys to think about a combination of allow ACLs and deny ACL. That means you create a right access control strategy because these controls are complementary to each other. It's not a replacement. So always think about creating a complementary access control strategy using all these controls, which gives the right access to the right identity. Now, next is a query ACL. This is also released as a part of Xanadu. So we have released two new operations in the ACL form, which is query range and query match. Up till now, you have been defining who are allowed to read the data, or who are allowed to write or update or delete the data, right? But this is one step going forward and saying explicit way of defining who can query the data. User may have access to read the data, but do we want to grant them an access to query the data? For example, let's take an example where you have employee table, right? All admins are allowed to read employee data, but only SSN number or address or personal email address is only visible to HR admin. So you create a field level ACL on the table which don't allows access to SSN phone number or email address to admin, but admin can query the data. They can do a search operation. They can build report on top of it. So now with query ACL, you can define whether you want to restrict even query for a user. who are not HR admin. So you create a query ACL which will restrict for phone number. It will restrict greater than equal to, less than equal to, exact match, equal to all the operations with two only available, query range and query match. So again, combination of all the ACLs will give you a right access control strategy on the platform and will protect the data against unauthorized access. Now let's see how this funnel, how this complementary strategy looks on the paper, right? So think about creating a funnel which at each layer you are explicitly defining that what data you want to allow, right? So we recommend that you start with a deny unless ACL and a non-contextual. Now, what is contextual and non-contextual? Non-contextual ACLs are the ACLs which do not need to understand the data. That means it just purely resides based on the roles or security attributes. But contextual ACLs are ACLs which needs to rely on the data. That means they need to understand, they need to get that record first and determine whether they are allowed, whether that record is allowed to be accessed by user or not. Those are contextual ACL. So we recommend you all start with a denial-less ACL non-contextual. That means you can explicitly say that don't give an access to user unless user has these roles, which are non-contextual. And then move to contextual if you have a need, which says deny access to the data unless these conditions are met. And conditions can be where priority equal to one incident. For example, it says deny access to priority equal to one incident unless user is an IT admin. So those will be the contextual ACL. And now you have to explicit again define the allow if ACL, which is explicit way of saying that who are allowed to access the data, because deny does not say who are allowed to access the data. It just says that deny access to this data unless these conditions are met. But with allow if ACL, you will explicitly define that who are allowed to access the data if conditions are met. So let's think about creating a funnel. At each layer, you are defining the access, and each layer grants a specific part of the data. This is a guiding principle that we recommend to all of you. Saying that, now let's move to the more exciting part of the webinar, and it is demo. So I will pass it to Derek to show the demo.
Great. Thanks for saying it's going to be exciting because that puts a lot of pressure on me, Pratik. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. So what we're going to do is kind of walk through a couple high-level use cases, but pretty common use cases for both the deny unless and the query ACL. So the first one we're going to go through is really limiting access or even denying access unless the user is part of a specific group. So we'll go ahead and kick it off. Let's go ahead and just start with a new ACL here. What we're going to do is really limit, but really remove access. So we're going to use the read operation here. We're going to use the deny unless. Let's go. We're going to do it for the sys user table. And then let's go ahead and enter the admin role. So the condition we want to use is really they have to belong to the group that is the IT admin group. That means anybody else who is not included in that group won't have access to even read the table. So let's go ahead and submit it. And let's go ahead and see how that worked. So we're going to impersonate a user. The one person that we don't want access to really anything, we're going to choose Michael Scott here. If you all watch The Office, you know what I mean. So let's go ahead and see what effect that has on the user table for Michael. So as you can see, it removes all access for him. He can't see anything. It does give him a security constraints, prevents access to this page. So we can kind of see that that worked out. So the next use case, let's go ahead and walk through, is really the query ACL. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a new ACL that really limits what you can query by certain attributes that you have as a user. So we're going to go create a new one here. This time, instead of doing read on the operation, we're going to actually do the query range. And then we're going to do a deny unless again. We're going to do the same page this time, but this time we're not going to do the whole page. We're really going to focus on some specific column email. So same as before, we're going to kind of choose what security attribute we want to use. So we want to make sure the group is IT admin, but now we're going to add one more attribute, which is going to be a role, and we're going to really limit it to the privacy admin role. That way we can now control privacy admin really is the only one that can see emails. So let's go ahead and submit that. All right, let's go ahead and impersonate another user. This time we're going to use Nick Glasses. He is part of the IT admin group, but he does not have that privacy admin role. So let's kind of see how that affects. So we'll go to the user table. This time we're going to do a quick filter. We'll choose a field email. Let's just do starts with S. Let's go ahead and run this and see how that ACL kind of affects Nick there. As you can see, this is part of that query ACL that we set up. So it gives insufficient access for that query range. But let's go ahead and check out a user that has both the privacy admin and is part of the IT admin group. We're going to go to good old Toby Flenderson. And we're going to do the same kind of clicks as Nick did to kind of see how it works. Let's go ahead and filter it again. This time we'll choose the same field, which will be email. Why is it not working? There we go. We'll do the same, and let's go ahead and run it. And as you can see, Toby, because he meets those two security attributes of privacy admin and the and being part of the IT admin group, he can do the query of email addresses and see the ones that begin with S. So that is it for the demo. As you can see, there's many different use cases and many different ways you can use both of these, the new functions for ACLs. And they are very powerful and quite easy to use. So I'll go ahead and hand it back over to Furqat.
Oh wow, thank you. Thank you. This is amazing. So, I'm a huge fan of live demo. Derek, I really appreciate it for showing all the what Pratik summarized earlier on this demo as well. It's really cool to see that. So this is one of the sessions that we had covered so far for this year, but in the past we had covered some of the data privacy new features and zero trust access, especially around the access analyzer as well. So if you really want to watch all those recordings, feel free to type the exact name that you see here on our YouTube channel, or just type platform the security, privacy and security, and you would be directed to those the contents as well. So we are talking about the access control today, the ACLs, and then the next month we're going to be covering two different sessions. One is for the security center, which is going to be cool, and that's one of the high demand topic, not only from our sales team but also from our customer as well, of what's coming on the security center for our upcoming releases. That we will go over with the product management team as well. And we will be having another session called data management with our product success team as part of September. So I'll send out the registration links with the posters and with the exact dates once those sessions are, the time is ready as well. If you're planning to take a look at some of our product documentations and blog posts and some of our social media platform and what we are publishing, whether if it's article or demo or some other content, feel free to scan the QR code here that you're on the screen, and you'd be directed to the different the content, so that you will see all different step-by-step the process and documentations and some other messaging, the product success guide as well. So I am going to wait 2 more minutes Before we wrap up the session, if the team or customer has some other questions, feel free to ask your questions. We're happy to answer here as well.
I think we have a few questions in
Yeah, we
the
have.
Q&A.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we have one. I think we have four questions here. Derek, do you want to answer, or do you want me to read it out loud first, and then before you answer?
yeah, so I'll go ahead and read them out loud. So the first one I'll kind of address is, so the query ACL demo prevents being able to query, but they can still see emails in that list view. That's correct if you're just doing that security attribute. You can add more of the data controls on it as well if you don't want that to be visible whenever they're seeing it. So that's kind of how we would handle that. But from just a simple demo that I did, yes, they'll be able to see it, but they won't be able to query it on that point.
Yeah, I would just add one line over there for that one. To in order to protect the emails being visible to the user, you can create a field level ACL that will protect and protect the entire column. We were just demoing how someone can protect the query part, but yeah, feel free to create a field level ACL and that will protect the column too.
All right. Next questions are these baseline features, or is an upgraded SKU required, like with Vault? This is just, from my understanding, Pratik, this is just included with the current ACL configurations and capabilities.
Yes, no additional cost. It's out of box available. It's free. It's part of the platform, so no additional cost.
All right, there's two more from Arun. With all these new enhancements to the ACL setup, can we avoid the message number of rows removed from this list by security constraints without a before query business rule?
So for that one, we are coming up. We are working on a new concept, and we can share more details in a future academy session. But that will help you with number of rows removed and security constraint message. It's similar to before query business rules, but it's a low code tool that where which you can define simply by using a condition builder. So we are working on the new concept, and we will share more details in upcoming academy sessions.
All right. And the last question is, does exporting count as a query?
I don't know. I have to check. Export is a specific event, uh, but we can get back to you, Greg.
All right. So we'll get back to you. Thank you, Pratik, Derek, for the answer. I will follow up with the Greg on this answer as for this question as well. After Pratik and I will
Actually,
touch base.
Furkat, we missed one of the question. I think, is there anything specific to observe here? Behavior change? Why is in Xanadu or these new permissions be layered in over time, and it isn't upgrade concern? So these are there is no upgrade concern because these are new features. It's up to you how you want to create it. You can plan your roadmap and use these features to build more stringent access control as per your need. There will be some ACLs which will be shipped out of box by ServiceNow using these two new concept, deny ACLs and query ACLs. But so it won't affect anything during upgrade.
Thanks, Pratik. I am going to wait 2 more minutes for other folks to ask some questions before we wrap up this session. Derek, Pratik, if you guys have anything to add, or if you guys want a summary or summarize the session, just feel free to do so.
I think last 2 cents from my side is like we are excited to release this all these new features, and we are like looking forward to see how these features are adopted, how these new features helps you solve your current use cases, which and improve your life. In terms of protecting the data, we know it's tough when it comes to security, so we are excited and we are looking forward to learn from all of you.
And seems like there's one last question. Grant wants to confirm all the same features of ACLs are available for deny-unless ACLs, such as the scripted or conditional-based logic as well.
Yes, all the ACLs features are available. Denialless ACL is just a new decision type. So on the ACL form, you will see a new field called decision type, and it will have two value: allow if and denialless. You will be able to use all the existing conditions that is part of ACL form.
All right, so I don't see any other questions coming. With that, this summarizes our today's session around ACLs, especially query-based the ACL, which is coming as part of Xanadu release. And we will definitely touch base around our some other store releases or Yokohama releases if we have any other the features that's going to be available for you guys to for the demo or for some overview around ACL as well. With that, thank you all for joining. Till next time, stay tuned. And thank you, Pratik and Derek, for leading this session as well. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.